Hi and welcome to another edition of Onside SA, the soccer show that's got you thinking, giving you all the info for the weekend locally, and of course the British League and any racing news with our international pundit Stevie B. We'll be going to him a little bit later. But first, Budge, let's talk about last one standing competition. What's the latest now?
Well, we'll start the third and final one, more than likely the final one next weekend. So everyone will get the WhatsApp emails.
Yes, we get it all out.
Get studying, and away we go.
Away we go. That's very good. It's a great tournament. It keeps me interested every weekend. I'm funking for my mates to go out. I don't know if they know that. But I'm
sure they've heard it.
You're neutral. You just have to wait and see another come and
keep the peace.
Keep the peace. I'll chase my mates up. Previous two winners, Skipper Ernie Wallace.
Yeah, I spoke to him during the week. Unfortunately, we can't go to the Spurs United game, business commitments, because Ernie's opening a new business, 5 new shops, so he's had to delay it.
Another game.
And Andrew, I think it'll more than likely be March, April where we go.
Andrew Jackson. Okay, lovely. That's good. So those are our first two winners. Thank very much to Dave Go Construction. Dave Goss, as you know, ex-racing man and a football man of note, loves his Man United.
Yeah.
Let's just quickly talk about PSL, Budge, because there's some interesting things happening, and there were games Tuesday. Ajax Cape Town Sundowns, good game.
Yeah, not bad. You know, dodgy penalty. I thought Sundowns come back to win 2-1. I watched them on Saturday after.
Haven't they been struggling a little bit?
Well, they got beat by Polokwane City. You know, I watched Diego Costa get sent off for the Athletic Committee on Saturday, and after the game finished, I turned over to watch Sundowns and Polokwane. As I turned over, bang, Polokwane equalised. The next 20 minutes, what a game, 3-2. Polokwane beat them. But Sundowns, terrible defending, but they won in midweek. They beat Ajax Cape Town away.
So they're still on
So
target.
they're 4 points clear, Cape, but won't be easy.
Wednesday, Bidford West turning it around at last.
They had to.
They beat Supersport United.
2-0, yeah. Supersport is struggling.
They
It's
are.
a good result for Gavin, gets them off the bottom.
Yeah.
Expect them to go on a good run.
Just to run through them, Sundowns, 31 points.
Yeah.
4 clear of Cape Town City. Free State Stars 25, Kaiser Chiefs 23.
Can't score goals.
Can't score goals. Pirates 23. We said again they aren't
Well,
good
they
enough.
beat Baraka 3-1, so hopefully, but a big game for them this week. They play Sundowns.
6, 7, and 8, and that is Bloem, Celtic, Chipper United, and Baraka. Baraka, didn't they lead at one stage?
Yeah, they were going well.
They're 9 off the lead now in 8th place. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Let's have a look at the bottom of the log. Ajax Cape Town.
They got beat two home games, you know, last 2 games. Got beat by Maritzburg and they got beat by Sundowns.
So Wits are off the bottom. Platinum Stars 15, Wits 14, 13 Ajax, and Amazulu 15.
Yeah, 2 games in hand, but they've got to convert it into points, otherwise they'll be in trouble.
They've got to get a win out of those, Now, we're going to see if we can get Stevie B on the line in London, and they'll tell us any moment now. Steve, you with us? Stevie B? Are we getting through to Stevie B, guys, or do we have to come a little later? No news on Stevie B, guys? Right, they'll just have to try again. I think he's there. Stevie, you there?
I am here.
Oh, fantastic. Morning, Steve. Budge and I in the studio waiting to get your input.
Morning, Steve.
Sure, I'm ready.
Okay, good man. We're starting off with an FA Cup review, and if you can add a bit to this, because the eliminated teams, Arsenal, Stoke, Villa and Leeds, some big names there?
Well, I think obviously the biggest one was Arsenal, and it really was a very poor performance. I mean, Wenger picked a team that he thought could do the job, but on the day, they were really found wanting. There were some big names there that really didn't show up, and I think, the back, Per Mertesacker had an absolute shocker.
Yeah.
I mean, he was giving these young forwards, they were giving him a sort of a yard head start and sort of beating him easily. And up front, I thought that players like Walcott, who's obviously looking to try and sort of ignite his career a little bit, I mean, had a very poor game. So, although the result was a shock, but on the day, Forest thoroughly deserved it.
The better team won, but
yeah. Steve, you think a lot of these teams, especially the Championship, I watched your game, Fulham, Southampton, but Aston Villa and Leeds, they rotate their squads?
Yeah, I mean, they sort of played slightly weak and see, but again, poor performances. Okay. It's all very well saying, they concentrate on the league, but the fans turn up, they want to see a performance. I think the Leeds was obviously maybe a sort of bigger shock. Obviously Newport sort of two divisions below them, and a difficult pitch to play on. But they showed a lot of spirit, Newport, and they thoroughly deserved it. And the same with Peterborough. They went a goal behind, but by all accounts, they were by far the better team most of the game. So, there were some big shocks. It was interesting. The Fulham-Southampton game, interesting that a number of the managers of teams at the bottom of the Premier League put out their strongest side.
Yeah.
And Southampton did the same. Pellegrino's obviously in a little bit of bother, and he put out a very strong side. It wasn't a particularly good game, but Southampton just edged it.
Yeah, I saw the one got cut across, and your centre forward, the number 9, I forget his name, it went through his legs. But I just thought the final...
Piazza.
Yes. I just thought that your final play, while you maybe outplayed them, the last third, I thought you were disappointing, yeah?
Well, I think that sort of sums up our season. We just haven't got we consider to be a real natural sort of finisher in the box, and that was evident on Saturday.
Stevie, just another point. You were right. All along you said Hughes was on skating on thin ice. He's gone, your mate Mark Hughes.
Yeah, no, I think that he got a stay of execution after they lost at home to Newcastle, but it was quite a humiliating defeat. Again, he put out a strong team at Coventry, playing against a team that are 3 divisions below them. There's no excuse for that, and I think even though I heard his post-match press conference and he was saying that he's the best man for the job to get them out of trouble, obviously the board disagreed, and I don't think we were at all surprised when that news broke.
Yeah, he had to go. You can't beat Coventry, and also losing at home it's just the manner of the way. I thought they'd have a go, but as you say, he did play a strong team. If you can't beat Coventry City, with all due respect to them, then you don't deserve to
Well, I
do the
think
job.
that's again the fans were all and I think fan pressure does count. There's been a lot of dissent in recent weeks with the fans, and I think the board have to take that into account.
Budge, just talking with Stevie, the Premier League sides are not finding it that easy in the FA Cup getting into this last round. If you've got replays for Chelsea, West Ham, Swansea, Leicester and Bournemouth, it's a lot of teams there, and they don't need extra games.
No, they definitely don't. The teams at the bottom certainly don't, and someone like Chelsea, they got a very full schedule. They don't need the extra game. They put out a relatively strong team. Chelsea probably did enough to win it. Good for Norwich to get a replay, but I think the last thing that Conte wanted was a replay.
Yeah, Steve, we never saw the League Cup semi-finals in midweek. How successful was that VAR system?
Well, it didn't. Obviously, the only time I suppose there was a little bit of controversy was the Brighton winner.
Yeah.
That they had that for the FA Cup match rather than the League Cup, and that seemed to work. I think it's a good idea because people don't want to see blatant errors, matches decided by mistakes. But I guess the worry is that if there are a number of controversial incidents in a game, you're looking at adding sort of at least a minute per every time that they stop play, and I think that's a concern. But there wasn't anything sort of overly controversial in the 2 League Cup games.
Yeah, I think it's a big plus for me. I've seen it all over the place. I'd rather waste a minute and get the right result.
Well, as long as it's a minute, that's the trick.
Yeah, they'll fine tune it. It's, everything has teething problems when it starts. And
I think it's right. A lot of sports obviously have the equivalents. You've got a DRS in cricket and rugby. So it's obviously a long time coming, and I think it is a good thing because, again, as we say, we don't want to see games decided by mistakes or goals that shouldn't be allowed. So I think it is a good thing, and they're obviously it's going to be used in the World Cup, so that could be very interesting as well.
I like to every week pose a question to you and Budge, and obviously you don't know where I'm coming from with this, but a panel had decided that there's no such thing as a one-man team, but there's certainly in the history of football been people who have influenced a team to such a great degree that they've become a completely different side with their player in the side. And there were 7, they cited 7 players who can be regarded as one-man teams. Right, I've got the 7 in front of me.
Maradona's obviously one.
Maradona at Napoli, well done.
Sure. Steve...
Messi?
Who? Who's
Lionel Messi?
No, too many good players there.
Wasn't one of the 7?
No,
then he has to- they got too
wasn't
many-
voted. Yeah, there are too many good players. Wasn't voted. Maradona was. He was voted in second.
Lothar Matthäus, was he not one?
No.
How far back are we going?
We're going back. We're going back.
So Pelé?
No.
No, he wouldn't have been.
You're warm, but not him.
So it's a Brazilian.
No, it's not a Brazilian.
I'd be one to think about. And,
Yeah, you'd have to
I'll
think
see if
about
I
it.
can come up
But
with
come on,
those
I want
things
more
really
than
quick.
one from you guys. I'll tell you. Let me just look at the list.
Well, it must have been Eusebio.
Correct. Now we go. In sixth was Eusebio at Portugal.
Okay, so if you're looking at that sort of Johan Cruyff?
Yes.
No.
Oh, no.
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 One-man teams, yeah. It was very interesting to read it and which teams they went from. One is still playing, but he's injured. He's with a top team. He's been an influence with his country, but he's still playing for a Premier League team, even though he's injured. One's a pundit.
Ian Wright?
No.
Ian?
Thierry
Ian
Henry. It must have been Thierry Henry at
No.
Arsenal.
No, there'll be good players at Arsenal. I'm surprised you guys are getting stumped this easy, but some of them were hard. But here in seventh place was Gareth Bale at Wales. Wales. So Wales have got no good players.
Okay.
Okay. In fifth, a guy from Bulgaria.
Stoichkov, yeah.
Yeah, well
Oh,
done.
Stoichkov.
Well done. Okay. Southampton.
Matt Letizia.
Correct. Very good. And then Sweden.
Zlatan.
But just warming up. Stevie, you can nod off any time you like. And the last one,
You know what?
I would never got.
Budge is beating me because there's a time delay.
But the last one, which is a very interesting question, he was knighted. It was many years ago, and Budge, you should pick this one up.
Bobby Charlton.
Bobby Charlton.
No.
No.
Sir.
Yes, correct. You got the first part right. He
it Bobby Moore?
he played for a team that is in the championship.
So it must be Nottingham Forest then.
No,
No. Leeds United, Billy Bremner.
no.
No, I don't think he was ever knighted.
Preston North End.
Tom Finney. Jeez,
Yeah.
how can I forget
How
that?
can you forget
Tom
your
Finney.
team?
The
Okay.
legend.
Yeah. Tom
Preston Plummer.
Finney.
That's true.
Do you know
But then by the same token, you could have had Stanley Matthews.
Correct.
presumably.
he carried them. They spoke about all these players.
1961, yeah.
He carried them to all the best results.
Yeah.
He left. They got relegated.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
1961, yeah.
So well done, boys. Not bad. You guys
Yeah.
have to warm up a bit. But every week I'm going to throw a question at you. Any news from the championship we should know about, Steve?
Well, there's the big game of the weekend is Friday evening. It's the Steel City Derby, Sheffield United against Sheffield Wednesday. And we've got the new Sheffield Wednesday manager, who nobody really knows much about, Jos Luhukai, taking charge for the first time. So that's a big game. And then I think the other big game is, really, because I think it'd be interesting, will be Forest against Villa.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday evening game.
Yeah.
Has Karanka got the job yet?
Fulham, I'm afraid, have got a very tough game away at Middlesbrough. So I'm not expecting anything there. I think even a point would be a bonus.
Okay, and then you guys have both been very accurate before, so I've got to throw another curveball at you. Next Premier League manager to go?
Sure.
Well, I think that the bookies have got Pellegrino as installed as favourite. Southampton, despite winning at Fulham in the Cup, obviously having a difficult time in the league. So I think they've got the sort of game that they could get a result away at Watford at the weekend. I think if they lost that, he'd be under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But there are a number of Pellegrino out banners at Fulham on Saturday, so I think he's definitely under pressure.
All right. Anything else for Stevie Budge?
No problem at all. But Steve, get studying. Be under pressure next week.
Yeah, get studying, Steve.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll talk to you next week. Thanks for your time. Thanks, Stevie.
Pleasure. Bye.
All the
Bye-bye.
best.
All right, Budge, let's go on to Premiership news. Philip Coutinho.
Well, they had to take the money, didn't they? You know,
That money you had to take it.
And I agree with the decision to let him go. I know the Liverpool fans don't. But could you imagine if he got injured and Bro done a Van Nistelrooy and done his crucial, then the deal's off 145 million. And I think that's why they bought Van Dijk when they did. because I think they knew the deal was coming through. So let's get a couple of players in. Obviously, Van Dijk was a big fish.
You know, the critics are saying, well, we want to win a trophy. Why do we keep getting rid of great players?
Well, you know, the South Americans, you know, they want to go to Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Yeah, you've got a situation where Firmino has been accused of racial slurs in that the Everton match.
Okay,
and you remember what happened to Suarez, 8 games, and they stood behind him. This could be a scenario where the racism is completely forbidden.
Yeah, it's not on. Yeah.
Not on. And he was speaking in his native tongue, and the lip readers got the first part, which was just swearing at him.
Yeah.
And the next part, when he's allegedly supposed to have said something racist, a player had walked in between, so the lip readers couldn't see it. But they got the ref and the fourth official have put in a statement. Interesting to see. So that you don't want to lose Coutinho and Firmino.
Yeah, 2 good players, both from the Brazilian squad.
Yeah, 2 excellent players. Okay, so he's gone. Mark Hughes, what
he had
happened
to
to
go.
him? What happened to him?
I don't know. I just think if you're a chairman, you think you can't beat Coventry City, with all due respect to Coventry City.
Sure.
So, championship club for Mark Hughes, I'd imagine.
And you and Steve touched on the video replay system. I'm a big advocate of it. It's worked in cricket. It's worked everywhere. How many times? Look at the World Cup final.
No.
England against South Africa, 2007. Did the boy's foot touch the line? He did.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the last one, Karanka. Tell me about this guy.
Was Jose Mourinho's assistant manager at Real Madrid. He was at Middlesbrough. Defensively, he'll get them right. But they've got so many good young players. Yeah. Nottingham Forest. I don't know what he's going to do. And it wasn't, he's no relation Zach Clough. He's a Bolton kid. He's not no relation to Nigel Clough or
nothing,
Brian Clough. Nothing.
But Walker's his son.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, Des Walker's son. Nottingham Forest.
Yeah.
They keep changing managers. They got the worst record.
Yeah, I don't know. They've got a foreign owner, so 6 months and you're gone.
Gone, if you're lucky. Right, let's go, Budge. We've got games on the weekend, very interesting games, and it's good to get back to the league. We've had the FA Cup. Was exciting, the FA Cup?
Just disappointing. I went for a couple of teams like Leicester and West Ham that just didn't have a go. Just rotated all the players.
West Ham were woeful.
Cost us.
Woeful.
Terrible. Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look at Chelsea-Leicester. The screen should come up. There we go.
Well, Body will be back. You've got to fancy Chelsea, but Leicester are one of those teams that have a full go. Expect goals, but obviously Chelsea should be too good in the end.
Especially at home.
Yeah.
Palace?
Yeah, this is the funny one. I watched the game and they rested quite a few players, but they've got defensive injuries.
I think Burnley's a big price.
So do I. We took, I think, a 7-10 Burnley win and draw. I think there'll be goals here because Crystal Palace, the way they play, they have a full go. Their better players are up front, so expect goals. But I think a score draw there wouldn't surprise me.
Burnley haven't won for some time, and Dice said, "What crisis? We're doing great. We've been knocked out by
every other club in England, other than the top 6, they're 7th, would be in their shoes."
That's right. So. Okay, Huddersfield Town, West Ham.
Big game for Huddersfield.
West Ham are playing so badly.
The only thing is they've only lost one of the last 7, and they did beat Chelsea. They drew with Arsenal and drew with Spurs. Now, I know they weren't the best of games to watch, but, David Moyes has got a bit of stubbornness in them now. A draw's a big player there, but this is a massive game for Huddersfield.
Yes.
Yeah, they're only 3 points above the relegation zone. If they don't get a result,
But I cannot go week in and week out and watch the likes of West Ham.
No. I'd rather watch a championship team.
I'd beat it. Go watch a top championship team. You're right. All right, let's go on to the next game. Newcastle, well, he picked up a valuable 3 points the other day.
That was crucial to him.
Now, Swansea is...
funny game this year.
Yeah, funny game.
I've thrown the draw in purely because Swansea will go and he will park the bus. And Newcastle, he has to. If you can get a point there, they won the last game. They beat Watford away. And they got beat by Spurs. They got hammered. But away from home, as long as he doesn't get a good hiding, I think he'll take a point. Newcastle have got to get a result.
Yeah, Newcastle desperate for a
they
result.
should win Newcastle, but that's a funny game.
Now, what's the story with Watford? Well, these two are underachievers.
Yeah, definitely. Watford had a great start under Marco Silva, but they've lost the plot. They've only won one of the last 7. I think Southampton can get something here. While they did play their best team against Stevie B's Fulham.
Stevie B's team could have grabbed them.
Could have grabbed them, but they just looked a little bit better in defence and a draw a big player there.
Okay. Right, let's move on to the next one. Another team I wouldn't like to watch week in and week out, West Brom, Brighton.
This is my player of the weekend. I think West Brom even money's a good bet, Paul. I'm going to take -1. I think it's 33-10. Yeah. I've watched Brighton a few times, well organised. They don't score goals away from home. I think they've scored 1 in the last 6. West Brom's score, I think they'll be...
Yeah, West Brom have showed a bit of fight against some top sides.
Yeah, they haven't... I know it's a crazy thing to say. They haven't won in the last 20 league games. They've drawn 10 and lost 10. But,
home and away.
Home and away. Pardew's got them fighting hard. I think they've got to get a result. 4 points from safety.
Yeah.
Don't get a result, they're in serious trouble.
Now, Tottenham, Everton,
I think
Tottenham
it should be one-way traffic.
Yeah, we should be better than them. Everton are trying to get their game together.
You know, I think Sam's had the initial surge, and now it's a reality check.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
who's he playing?
Yeah.
I just think Tottenham.
He's got to
too
buy.
much.
He's
Oh,
got
he has
to
to.
buy.
He's got a centre forward. I saw he bought a Turkish striker.
Okay.
Take a bit of time, but Spurs. Easy
Spurs,
victory
I'm just
for me.
looking at Spurs. They're letting the French winger they bought for 9 million go to Burnley on loan. They're not
Okay.
selling because it cost them when they sent a guy to Roma.
Yeah.
And then they're bringing in the youngster. Edwards is going to start getting a
Okay.
look in, and they're looking at a very good player called, I think, Malcolm, something like that.
He's a Frenchman. Quite a few clubs
Yeah.
from Bordeaux.
Yeah,
have been
looking
interested.
at him, yeah. So they must think of buying.
Yeah.
Bournemouth.
Big game for Bournemouth, yeah, but
they're good at home, but
yeah, they hard. You know, Arsenal, you just never know away from home,
Yeah.
Paul. Yeah, good result last night against Chelsea semi-final.
that was away from home.
It was
for them.
away from home. You know, you just never. I think there's plenty of goals in this.
Yeah.
There's always goals with Bournemouth.
Bournemouth at home, they're
yeah,
a
and
good
they're
side.
struggling. Yeah, they're just above the relegation
Spurs shouldn't have
zone.
beaten them, and
Yeah.
neither should Man City have beaten them.
Yeah.
Liverpool, this will
I
be a
think-
great game.
Yeah, I fancy Liverpool to get something out of them. If ever there's a team that's tailor-made for Man City, it's Liverpool. Yeah,
'Cause
those
their
boys
pace-
up front,
Yeah.
you know, Mane, I think you say Firmino.
Yes.
Dangerous game for Man City. This is a big test.
Yeah,
I know
they've
they're
got
well
to be
clear,
strong
but-
in the middle.
Yeah,
'cause
big test for Liverpool too.
Yeah, Man City are great through the middle, so they've got to be
Yeah.
strong.
Well, they'll match up. I think they'll go man for man in midfield and look to catch them.
When they play Mickey, they
Yeah,
brought a player.
lesser teams, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So
Yeah, great game, Paul. Great game.
Great game. What time is that game?
It's 6 o'clock our time,
Sunday.
Sunday night. Yeah.
Now Monday, Man United,
Well,
1-5.
Well, I wouldn't
they
take-
will beat
They've
Stoke.
got to beat. I think
They'll
there's
beat
plenty of
Stoke.
goals. You know,
They
where the
will
boys
beat
are in
Stoke.
Dubai, sun tanning, where everyone's freezing in the
Who?
UK.
Man United.
Yeah, so he's taken them to Dubai. So
Okay.
come back
Nice
fired
to have
up.
money.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the PSL fixtures. Now, here we go. But
Well, you know, Maritzburg got a great result in Cape Town last week. They beat Ajax Cape Town 2-1. Only thing is, when they play at home, teams tend to be a little bit more defensive against them, and it doesn't suit them.
yes,
But Blom Celtic are going great.
yeah.
You know, so draw a big player in that one, Paul.
Ajax Cape Town 12-10 Platinum
Well,
Stars.
if Ajax
double
Cape
that.
Town don't get a result, they're bottom of the league now. They've got to start getting.
Ajax.
Yeah, they've got to start getting result. They fired their manager, that Stanley Menzo. They've got Mushin Ertragol, you know, that fiery character on
Yeah.
the bench. They lost their last two at home, both during the week. Lost on Friday and Tuesday. Platinum Stars got a better away record than at home. That's your mate Roger Desar's team. Unbeaten
Yeah.
in 6. Don't be surprised if they get a result there, Platinum Stars.
Sundowns Pirates.
You know,
7-10.
Sundowns.
Well, is it a derby in that sense? But
Well, it is in a way. The Pretoria team, Sundowns. You know, Pirates are one of your traditional, them Swallows and Chiefs. And in our day, they were the big three.
Yeah.
Sundowns, big money behind them. Got a fancy Sundowns. They always seem to beat Pirates, but you never know with Pirates on their day. But for me, Sundowns, yeah.
Free State Stars at home.
Well, this is second against third.
Ooh.
You know, Free State Stars had a good result last Friday. They beat Bidvest Wits away. But I like Cape Town City. Benny's got them going well. They've won their
He's
last
done a good
three.
job.
Yeah, he has.
I've watched him play a few times. I'm
Yeah,
quite impressed.
And they lost their best player. He went to Turkey, you know. Guy playing for Bafana. Good. You know, I like Cape Town City, the two teams, but playing in Bethlehem won't be easy.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Chiefs are 9-10. Polokwane.
Just can't score, you know. That's the problem with Chiefs. That all the play against Supersport can't score. I think they scored 5 goals in the last 9 games.
That's not good
It's
enough.
not good enough, and they've got a lot of youngsters. How that manager hasn't come under pressure, I don't know.
Yeah,
Steve Compella. It
he's
just doesn't make
just-
sense.
But is he looking to buy people up front?
Well, you never know. I think Kaz's the main man.
Do
there.
they have the same type of purchase system like the UK, January and end of season?
No.
Like
I
any
think
time?
so. To any time, yeah.
So that's why one guy's got whooped off to Turkey and whatever.
Yeah.
Chipper United 8-10 at home.
Well,
Wits.
the odds will obviously change after last night. We got the betting yesterday morning.
Yeah.
You know, Wits got a result. You'd expect Gavin to have them fired up in Port Elizabeth.
This will definitely.
The odds will definitely change after
yeah.
last night. And so you got to fancy Wits to get another positive result, whether it's a draw, avoiding defeat. But Chip on a bad side.
Baraka Amazulu.
Well, you know, Amazulu is struggling. They only won 1 in 9, and they're slowly getting
They've
drawn
been
into
sucked
that.
in, yeah.
relegation scrap. But Baraka was
Who's the
second.
boss at Amazulu now?
Amazulu, Kevin Johnson, he was
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
coach. He was at
Yeah.
Platinum Stars. But Amazulu is strange. You got some good results away from home.
Yeah.
They beat Sundowns away.
Can you believe
So,
it? Yeah.
you know, expect them to put up a fight, to draw a big player, but anything for Amazulu there wouldn't...
And Le Montfort Golden Arrows?
well, Arrows haven't won in 11.
Oh,
Supersport haven't won in 7. You know, I just can't believe it.
there's
Supersport
2-1 the draw.
2-1 the draw. You know, I think Arrows are due to come right, Paul,
Yeah.
especially at home. Playing in Kwamash, you expect a dodgy penalty. But,
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Soccer 6.
well, the first is the South African come Spanish one. I've gone the win and draw Mamelodi Sundowns and Pirates. I think Real Madrid will finally come good. They're struggling, but at home they should be too good for Villarreal. I've gone Cape Town City in the draw at Free State Stars. Great game I'll be watching. Arbar have won, I think, 6 of the last 7. Play Atletico Madrid, who've come right. Diego Costa, unfortunately, is not playing. So I've gone win and draw Atletico Madrid at Arbar. I've thrown the draw in with Chiefs and Polokwane. You know, Chiefs again.
Yeah. Don't score.
Just don't score, so the draws obviously play. And I think Valencia will get a good result at Deportivo La Coruña, 192.
Okay, the next one. Now
Is the Premiership. I bank at Chelsea. I think they should have too much for Leicester.
Yes.
I've gone the field with Crystal Palace and Burnley.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Huddersfield, I've thrown the draw in with West Ham. I think it's going to be a desperate encounter.
Desperate encounter. I think Huddersfield have to win, and they beat United at home. Yeah.
They're giving teams a go. It's a big game for them. You know, I've just thrown the draw in with Newcastle. I don't trust
agree.
them. You know,
I don't
so
trust
I've thrown
them
the draw in with Swansea. I've gone the field with Watford and Southampton, and I've banked at West Brom to beat Brighton.
We could catch this.
2-1-6.
We could catch this one. Okay, let's look at the bigger one.
Now we've gone with the 10. I've banked at Wolves to beat Barnsley. I banked at Derby. I thought played well against Man
Wolves
United.
top of the log.
Yeah, well clear to
Yeah.
beat Barnsley. You're struggling. You know, Birmingham have come right under Steve Cottrell. They've won the last
haven't
2.
they just,
but
eh?
they can't score goals. They score 1-1-1. And Derby played well against Man United.
Yeah, Derby a useful side.
Useful team. They're second top. I think Derby will beat them. I think Chelsea are bankers over Leicester. I've thrown the field with Crystal Palace and Burnley. And I've thrown the away win as well, Huddersfield and West Ham. Second page, I've gone Newcastle win and draw. I've gone the field with Watford, Southampton. I've banked West Brom to beat Brighton. I've gone the field with 2 European Cup winners, believe
That's
it or
right,
not.
yeah.
Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa. And I think Spurs should be too good for Everton.
What were Forest singing at the Arsenal fans?
Well, they were singing Champions of Europe, you'll never be that, to the Arsenal fans. And a couple of minutes later, the Arsenal fans replied, Champions of Europe, you weren't even born. So they're brilliant with the fans.
I love their chirp.
Oh, no,
That's what
just-
makes the games.
yeah.
Going to the games and listening to them sing. Okay, and then
So that was
Spurs
324.
banker.
Spurs have got to beat Everton, yeah.
Okay.
In the 13, our usual 5 bankers and 8 win and draws. I've banked Spurs to beat Everton, Chelsea to beat Leicester. I've gone for Burnley to get a good result at Crystal Palace. I've gone win and draw Huddersfield against West Ham, Newcastle against Swansea. I've sided with Southampton to get a result at Watford, win and draw at Watford. I've banked West Brom to beat Brighton.
Okay.
I've banked Wolves to beat Barnsley, Derby to beat Birmingham. I've gone win and draw Bristol City. I was going to bank Bristol City after their performance against Man City, where they got beat 2-1 late on. But sometimes, Paul, they've used all their energy and you
that's
do
right.
tend to
They're
get a
flattened
backlash.
out, yeah.
And Norwich weren't bad against Chelsea, although defensively they were sound. So I've gone win and draw Bristol City. Ipswich and Leeds United. Ipswich are good at home, so I've sided with them, win and draw against Leeds. Hate to do it to Steve, but I think Middlesbrough win and draw at Fulham. And I've gone with my boys Preston away from home. We don't get beat too often. Win and draw at Millwall, 409.
Budgie's best bets.
Yeah, well, we've gone the quartet. I've gone for West Brom to win. There's a lot of teams.
That's your
in there.
key.
That's my key. They don't win, well, I'll be back at the Auto Bank on Monday. Then I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Crystal Palace Burnley, Tottenham Everton, and Man United Stoke, 2,300 at 200. In the Championship, I've gone Wolves to beat Barnsley, Derby to beat Birmingham, and over 2.5 goals in the Ipswich Leeds and Notts Forest Aston Villa game. The odds were quite good, 17 to 1. Yes,
That's very good.
the win and draw 5. I've gone Burnley against Crystal Palace. I think Liverpool will get a draw at least against Man City. Reading are away at Hull City. I've gone for them. In Spain, I've gone Alaves, who are at home to a poor Sevilla team, especially away from home. And Hertha Berlin are at Stuttgart. I think they'll get a result. So 10 to 1, 2,000 at 200. I've gone in the extra team and the both teams to score. Originally, I had 4 teams. I had Chelsea, Leicester, Crystal Palace, Burnley, Ipswich, Leeds, and Notts Forest and Aston Villa. But throwing in the Bournemouth Arsenal game, it worked out at 19 to 1. So I thought, well, let's take a chance, because that was a game I was going to leave out. But it was 5.5.
Bournemouth hosting Arsenal.
Bournemouth hosting Arsenal. So both teams to score there, just under 20 to 1, 3,800 to 200.
Right, the Spanish
The
omelette.
Spanish omelette, yeah, I've gone Girona to beat Las Palmas, Celta Vigo to beat Levante. I've gone Barcelona to beat Real Sociedad by more than 1 goal.
Okay.
They're away from home. And over 2.5 goals, the Alaves Seville game, 3,100 to 200.
Collis King.
And then the Collis King, yeah, I've got Tottenham to beat Everton, United to beat Stoke, Wolves to beat Barnsley, Girona to beat Las Palmas, Barcelona to beat Real Sociedad, and Hanover to beat Mainz in the Bundesliga, 2,600 to 200.
Should be a lot of fun. It looks like another interesting weekend.
Oh, no, it's coming thick and fast, Paul.
Yeah. And any of the leagues playing on Friday night?
Only PSL.
PSL, Friday night.
Two
so
games.
PSL
And there's
Friday.
championship games, the Sheffield Derby,
Okay.
Sheffield United, Sheffield Wednesday.
Don't forget to WhatsApp Budgie. He will be sending out all the details for the final last man standing of the year or of the season, and it's a great prize to be won. A lot of fun. Budgie will be contacting you. I think that wraps it up, Budge.
For the week, Paul, yeah.
Well, for the week, that's all we got. Make sure you stay on side.